this is Nick from ReviewOutlaw.com. Today I'm going to review the Kawasaki KLx250s. This is a 2009 model. They haven't changed much between the 2008 to 2012. 2013 they added the fuel injection, which is a nice feature. But besides that, it's pretty much the same bike as far as height, size, performance. This run right here is a CDI, so carbureted, and so that's one thing. Also, it is water cooled instead of air cooled. You can see here you have the fins. The front headlight is a little bit different than some of the other Enduro style dirt bikes out there, dual sport. It has this style, which some people like better than the round style, so that's something that attracts a lot of people to this bike. As far as an off-roading bike, very nice bike. It has great shocks, great power, great performance. They haven't changed much because they didn't need to in these couple different years. It has the spark resistor here. So basically this is actually meets EPA standards. So if you want to ride this in California through the forest, that's one of the things that a lot of other bikes don't have. A couple pros here is it has the disc brakes front and back. That is something that's important to me. It's got really good stopping power. So if you need to stop on a dime, get the disc brakes. Try to avoid the drum brakes. It's a cheaper component is the drum brakes. You don't see them in a lot of the newer bikes, but if you can avoid that, that is something to look for. As far as the height is concerned, you can see it's pretty high. I'm about 6 feet tall, and it has a little bit of cushion here, not as much as the Yamaha 250s, but let me show you here when I sit on this. I'm a little bit on my tippy toes here. The bottom of my feet, the balls of my feet are not flat on the ground. So that becomes a pain when you're going down a trail and it's a dead end trail and you got to reverse, you got to push back, and if your feet are not flat, that can be a little bit of a pain. Sometimes you got to get off the bike and move it back. So that's one thing to consider. If you buy this bike, you can have it lowered, but that of course is an extra charge. They can lower the shock, you can do some adjustments there, there's some links you can buy, things like that. But keep in mind that's something that you'd have to consciously do versus the Yamaha. It's already much lower. It has a little bit more shock in it, so even though the seat maybe is almost the same height, you can sit down a little bit closer down on the ground. No kickstart. That's something to think about. A lot of the dirt bikes you'll find kickstarters on. Sometimes only kickstarters instead of electric start. It's nice if you leave your lights on, the battery dies. The LCD panel here. It's got a nice LCD panel, gives you speed, gives you RPMs, you got your odometer reading, your clock. Of course you have your neutral, your engine temp here, high beam, left, right. Gas here is lock, you can lock this, which is a nice feature. Mirrors, these are pretty standard. Clutch, brake, front brake, rear brake. Checking the oil, that can be done here under right here. One of the things that is a little tricky to get to, you kind of have to feel around for, is your choke. And basically it's right behind here. Now once you get used to the bike, it's not a big deal, you can get it from right under here, but unless you're used to the bike, it's a little bit of a pain to find that choke at first. So that's something to just kind of learn once you get used to the bike. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take it for a test drive so you can hear the engine, kind of get a feel for the bike, how it rides, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on it. There we go. One nice other thing, safety feature it has, is the kickstand shut off. So if your kickstand's down and you're not in neutral, it will not let you start, and if it is on in first gear, even with your clutch in, it will kill the bike. Really nice safety feature. So you're not driving with the kickstand down and then hit a branch or a rock or something and throws you off the bike. So let's turn it on. Now I did have to choke it first just to get it on before. Now it's not choked, and it's starts right up. It's got a nice start to it. The clutching's really smooth, very smooth to clutch over. Yeah, let's give it a ride here. So that was through the trees. I mean, the first gear is really nice. You can get really some good speed. You can pretty much go up to 20 miles per hour without having to clutch up, which is nice. Some 200s have a real tough time getting above 12 miles per hour first gear, so they're really whiny, and you got to clutch them up. So it's nice to ride those back trails and not have to do it. The sound is not too loud. It comes actually, and I'll show you in a second, with a nice block guard for your engine block, so you don't have to worry about rocks. It's not nothing you have to add aftermarket. A lot of other bikes got to add an aftermarket skid plate, which is pretty much kind of a pain. I'm going to take it down the road here. As you can see how it clutches up first, second, third, fourth gear. Alright, so that was about fourth gear. Easily could have gone up to about 50 in fourth, and I just didn't want to lose my hat, which has my camera. So let me show you the skid plate here. It's not a full skid plate, but look here, it's going to get most of the rocks that you're really going to be concerned about. It's going to stop it right here and here. They actually have aftermarket skid plates, but I think this does a pretty good job of getting most of those big rocks away from your engine block, so you don't crack that. Here's the front with the headlight on. One thing is storage. We added a little bit of, they sell these bags basically on Amazon. Just so you have some extra storage, put where you put your registration, license, stuff when you're riding. So all in all, really nice bike, a lot of power. One thing to consider when you buy this bike is the height. You're gonna be tall enough for it. I would really recommend, of course, test driving it if you can. A lot of dealers won't let you test drive it if it's brand new. So if you have a friend who has an older model, those would be fine to test drive, and then you get a pretty good idea of how it rides. All in all, really fun to take on the trails. I mean, you can go on the highway, no problem with this. Yeah, just overall really nice bike. So if you have any questions, or if you have this bike, you like it, you hate it, let me know in the comments. And I'm eager to hear your thoughts on it. All right, thanks.